One of my most favorite things for the last 18 years of working with my brother is that he has a couple sayings that relate to the electric file. He hates it when you call it a drill.
If you want a drill, go to Home Depot, get yourself a block of wood and a bucket of screws, and you can practice drilling all day long.
And he really hates it when you say that it causes damage to the natural nail.
It's not the tools that do damage, it's the fools that do damage.
But the thing that I love more than anything is watching Tracey make fun of Greg talking about the electric file.
Bro! It's not the tools that do the damage, it's the fools that do the damage!
Somebody's extremely comfortable. Where's Greg gonna sit? Can we gather around and make a circle? Like all of us sit, kumbaya, lots of love. I'm gonna be here. Tracey will be there. Steph can stay on the couch. Greg. First of all, electric files, why does it have this image? You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen it. People freak out. They get scared, which they shouldn't be, but they do. Why does that exist in the industry?
There's a fear of it, right? And especially when I started doing nails, it was an absolute almost no. Like, no one did it but walk-in salons, and I literally for 6 years taught my clients not to ever let anyone come to you and use an electric file.
That's actually amazing.
Yeah, that's why I ended up with carpal tunnel in both wrists. And it's not something we're taught in school, so there's just this huge fear of it. So how do you combat that fear? Is you say it's not good for you. And if you do it wrong, it isn't. But you can be just as aggressive with a hand file as you can with the electric file.
The problem is that there's too many unqualified nail technicians that have harmed too many consumers.
Right.
So what has happened is the consumer fear has basically spoken out loud. It's like, all I fear is getting hurt or burned while I go to a salon. We have been teaching electric filing for over 20 years.
Right.
In a 20-year period, the gap has closed. And what I mean by that, a lot more professionals know how to use it. But there's still a lot of people that don't. There's a lot of people who are afraid. All your consumers who are watching, you just have to make sure that you find a nail technician out there that uses young nails.
That's been really trained by young nails.
Right? Yeah.
Steph, did you use an EFILE like right out of the gate, or you did?
We didn't use it in school. I got a hand-me-down one like as soon as I started in salon and just started practicing on myself. Was like the main way that I really felt like I could learn, because you were actually telling someone that the other day.
Yeah.
When you're practicing on yourself, you feel it from both ends. I know if I'm putting pressure, it hurts. I know if I'm staying in the same spot, it gets hot. Right. So then you get to feel it from the customer side, as well as I can feel what I'm doing that's causing that.
Right.
So it was just a lot of practice on myself.
I have been hurt with a hand file worse than I've been hurt with the electric file. And I probably, Steph and Greg can testify to the fact that when a hand file comes to me, I kind of tense up.
Yeah.
Electric file, I'm very relaxed. But I have been gashed really bad with a hand file. So it's the same thing. But you have to practice on yourself, but with both, to know.
What are the actual benefits of using an electric file in a service? Like, what are the benefits off the bat?
You're able to get, like, look, the nail is small. The nail is convex. It has crevices. Taking a really wide board, can you pass me that board real fast? Like taking something that's this wide and trying to fit it around a small little area, you have to have ninja-like reflexes, right, to get inside, and you will build it, right, over time. But using an electric file, you have something rotating for you. You don't have to do this. Right. And you can get into those tight crevices and shape and refine to perfection with ease.
Preparation, so much easier with an electric file. Speed being very important. I was able to go fast with that after 6 years. I taught myself, and I still used an electric file to cut in smile lines, but I just wouldn't use it for natural nail and stuff like that. Once I did that, I shaved so much time off my service.
Even in school versus out, because in school all we could use was a hand file, and so to see the difference immediately, even off of just teaching myself, was kind of crazy. One thing that, like, when you were saying, like, what are the reasons why people are scared, one of the first clients I had was my sister, and one of the comments that she made was she didn't know that it didn't have to hurt to get your nails done.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, it shouldn't. But I think that so many of us have been to salons where we have been hurt. That's your natural fear behind it. You know, it's like, oh God. And I mean, it's a machine, so it can be intimidating, but I think it's the nail tech's job to show the consumer, look, I know what I'm doing. Like, I've been trained in this. You know, we have the bits where you can go right up on the skin without cutting. Like, I show my clients that. So before, if they do have any hesitation towards the EFILE, I'm like, look, you know, and I'm like, I've been trained, like, I know what I'm doing. And then once I've used it on them once, they're like, oh, this is great.
What do you do when a client says, I don't want you to use electric file? And it's not an option. It's just, I'm not asking permission to use it. This is my service. Let me show you. This is what it feels like. It's not going to hurt. I can do just as much damage with the hand file as I explain it briefly.
Yeah.
I don't want you to use electric file. I'm not the nail tech for you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to damage my body and go slower because, and I understand why. Here's some people that I know that don't use it.
Yeah.
And here is their numbers.
One of the best demonstrations I've seen is Greg's demo when he does the coochie coochie coo, tickle tickle tickle. As insanely corny as that which it is, but we're all corny.
Yes.
I don't forget it. And it speaks to the gentleness of, if that's even a word, gentleness of like the electric file, how gentle it can actually be.
I have a lot of isms, right? For those of you guys who have been watching me teach over the past 20 years, I repeat the same things over and over again, but I do that for a reason, so that you do remember.
Yeah, can you bust out a coochie coo real quick?
Coochie coochie coo.
I have to say it because
You do.
now it's just in my head. Yeah,
I know, I know.
And I always say, Greg has this stupid thing that he says.
Coochie coochie coo.
And people are like, yeah, they get it. Like, but you get it. Yeah, it works.
It works. It gets in your head.
You're
I think-
tickling.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're tickling. It's a very light touch.
It's a
Yeah.
very, very light feathering motion. You have to tickle while you work.
I think that, because you guys have done that to me, where you've grabbed my hand and said, check this out, and you actually put the EFILE, I'm like, oh, that's where you're like, oh my God, it's super soft. Like, this is nothing.
If you can get an electric file, just start like Steph did. Start with it right away.
out the gate.
After 6 years of using a hand file, it was difficult to go to an electric file. I had to force myself. It did not feel natural.
Yeah.
And what I would do is when a customer came in for a repair, I would just, okay, I'm going to, this whole nail, I'm going to use just the electric file. And then I finally got through it. But if you just learn that right away, you'll be better off.
After 6 years of like repetitively punching Greg in the face, like I need is there an electric face puncher that I can get? So I just go up to him and just.
It's that back massager. What is that thing called?
Yeah, the Berrigan or
For those of you professionals out there who are like, well, where do I get the training? I'm going to tell you right now. If you want to learn to be proficient with your electric file, you need to come to our 1-week course. That is one thing we all guarantee. Whether you become super proficient at acrylic or super proficient at gel, which a lot of you will be, one thing I will guarantee is you will be super proficient with an electric file. Don't forget, you guys, all you consumers out there, ask your salon if they use young nails.